Why are you gay?
All this time we could have been friends.
G'day, I'm Tim Power, and what a time to be alive. Madonna and Kylie join forces, finally! But truly, for me, it's not the music taking centre stage here. If you know these two women as well as I do, you'd be seeing something remarkable, just like I am. An authentic, genuine, equal friendship. And I'm not just talking about mutual professional admiration. Take a look at Madonna. This is a genuine friendship. We've seen Madonna with other artists so many times throughout the years, and she usually takes, you've seen it, right? She takes the mantle of the queen or the mother spirit, mentor. But here, she's safe enough in Kylie's presence to be vulnerable. We rarely get to see true Madonna, yet here with Kylie, she hands over her dominance. That protective and possessive shell that she usually projects as a celebrity. When she's with Kylie now, she totally relaxes. And I'll be accused of overstating this, but you could even say that Madonna gently eases herself into Kylie's maternal instinct. It's absolutely incredible. Watch them together. I can't remember when I've ever seen Madonna do this. She's been with Ariana, Cardi B, Katy Perry, but with Kylie, there's something different. It reminds me of her song.
It's so hard to find someone to admire.
That's right, Madonna doesn't just admire Kylie anymore. She now knows the secret that we all knew, that Kylie can wrap you up in her safety. She is a true empath. What a beautiful thing it has been to watch this relationship move beyond the professional and into something deeply, deeply personal. I didn't expect it. I really didn't, but boy, oh boy, isn't it a special thing to witness? Are you seeing it too? Are you seeing this? This is beyond the performance? Let's remind ourselves of that shock moment when Kylie joined Madam X.
Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful
Okay, so let's talk about the music itself. Of course, the remixes of Love Sensation dropped today. I'm going to say the selfish thing that I know you're all thinking, and you just don't want to say it. I wish it had been a new track. I really do, and an epic one at that. But yeah, this is good too. Very, very good. You know, it's interesting that Kylie and Madonna and their teams, they know what a momentous moment in pop history this is, to the extent that they even used the 2001 Space Odyssey when they appeared together at the Gay Fair in Amsterdam, or whatever it's called. Now, that's a piece of music that signifies a one-time in history event, an event of epic proportions. So they knew what a moment on stage that would be. Of course they did, right? Yet, okay, why did Kylie simply wander onto the stage? Come on now, why did she just walk into the Madonna DJ set? It wasn't worthy. We needed to build the anticipation. The arena or whatever it was needed to drop to black, and then we needed white light. We needed silhouettes. And if the Space Odyssey music was to play a role in this at all, it was never okay to use it in a performance the way they did. The music is an announcement. This piece of incredible music is a reveal. It's not an interlude. We've waited 40 plus years for this moment. They're the two greatest pop survivors in the world today. I think this moment should have gone old school, gigantic, camp, and awe-inspiring. At least two gay men needed to faint as these two women arrived together. But they chose to go Gen Z, where ostentatious is oh so politically incorrect. Instead, Kylie walked onto the stage like a mere mortal. Okay, I promise my whinge is over, and I'm not gonna lie, it still made me slide off my chair and onto the rug. They had such a good time, didn't they? But as I say, I was actually much more fascinated by the connection between these two than the song itself. I was like, what has happened here? This evolution of their relationship. Aren't they amazing, though? I mean, they're just incredible. I hope they know how much joy they bring into our dull, grey, workabout lives. The remix of Love Sensation is great. It's a little more oomphy, you could say, than the album version. You would have noticed that too. I would have liked a little more harmonising. There's a little bit too much separation going on here for me. A little too much Dua real groove. Those of you who've heard that, you know what I mean. Feels a little bit stitched together rather than a track that actually needs two performers like a genuine duet track does. But look, hey, it's fun. It's a great little pop song. Kylie's doing her breathy thing on this track. Yeah. And it's a sweet song. It's great pop. It's fitting, isn't it, too, that the word love is in the title of the very first Kylie Madonna track ever released. Because ultimately that's what they're both about, right? Love.
Dear Tim, can I just say I absolutely love the new Madonna and Kylie remix. I think it's awesome. But it's also my partner's birthday today, and I wish more than anything that he was here. And I would trade this Kylie Madonna remix in a heartbeat just to be spending his birthday with him. But I can't do that, so I'm really, really thrilled that Kylie and Madonna did a new song together, and I am always going to remember this song came out on his birthday. So yeah.
Mark, it's great to hear from you, my friend. I'm truly sorry that today is a hard day for you. I'm quite touched that you reached out and shared that with everyone. And I can hear that that's a loss that you're never going to let go of. And quite frankly, nor should you, my friend. It's good to hear from you. I'm really glad you like the track too. And by the way, everyone, have you heard the AI version of Love Sensation that's floating around? Have a listen to this.
I'm your sensation, good vibration. Love and me. I'm your love sensation, good vibration. There's nothing that we cannot do, nothing that we cannot do. Baby, come and dance with me. There's magic in the things we do. Baby, when you're close to me, there's nothing that we cannot do. Caught inside this love sensation, I'm your love sensation, good vibration. Nothing that we cannot do. Caught inside this love sensation. I'm your love sensation, good vibration. Love and me. I'm your love sensation, good vibration. Love and me. Forever in this love sensation.
I've seen some comments from people saying they prefer that to the real version. Ugh, AI's getting really good now. I don't like it, but it's good. But Bit scary, isn't it? Will the real Love Sensation chart well? Will it hit the top 10, for example? Sadly, no, it won't. It's going to be on heavy rotation, definitely, for sure. We're all going to hammer it, aren't we? We're going to hammer it to death. That's absolutely true. But without a video, because the track isn't a universal banger, what I mean by that is, I don't know if this would appeal beyond absolute pop fanatics, Madonna fans, Kylie fans, lovers. I don't think it's going to light up the chart in any particular way. But hey, who cares? It's also worth mentioning it feels like Stuart Price must be gushing that these two women are now connected. And the full story, it'll come out. Madonna and Kylie, they don't mind a bit of a chat and a reflection these days when they're interviewed. It'll all come out, the role that he played in making all of this joy happen. So I preemptively thank you, Mr. Price, not only for Confessions 2, but for, I don't know, having the instinct that these two women needed to connect in a meaningful way. So is this Madonna-Kylie collab a one-off? That's a great question. I see this track as an entree, personally. It's not the main course. I don't think so. I don't get the feeling that there is another track recorded just yet. I could be wrong. But my guess is they're both on the lookout for that ultimate song that we all want, the perfect pop duet, which is more than just good. They may be waiting for a track that's up there with Head or Vogue, or when you think about it, other classics like Enough Is Enough. Was that called Enough Is Enough? Or No More Rain? No, that's a Kylie track. No More Tears. No More Tears. A track like Telephone, maybe. Personally, I do. I want a mega hit where there's not a single smile in the video. No cutesy, just sass. And maybe a little mutual nipple tweaking. Now, if you're an international listener, I am a bit embarrassed to share this news with you. This week, Australia's most played track on radio, true story, is not from Confessions 2, but it's this.
When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there. In the midnight hour, I can feel your power.
I think you pronounce it Josh Fawaz. He is a Queensland DJ, and although he hasn't confirmed it, the criticism from, the likes of the ABC, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, all those hip old folk down there, their criticism from people like them is that what you just heard is all AI. And it probably is. But, I think we've got to live with it, my friends. If we like it, we like it. And, if it's going to hurt the artists, I totally respect that. But this is what we're looking at now. Music made for our ear, tailored for our ears. The song is currently number 4 on the ARIA Australian Singles Chart. Have you seen Ariana's new video for the song? I think it's called Petal. Or maybe the album's called Petal. But either way, the new single that's out. I love Ariana. I really do. But it's really too much, this video. The violence. Look, violence has its place in pop art. It just does, whether we like it or not. But it has to serve a purpose, right? I think that they were aiming for comedy here. I've watched it quite a few times, this video clip, and I quite like it. Up until the point where she starts chopping off heads, and there's all this fucking ridiculous female against male. I hate all of that. It's just such... you don't combat discrimination with discrimination, right? And that's unfortunately where a lot of our pop icons have headed. That men need to be put in their place, girl power and all this sort of stuff. No, human power, people power. We should all be empowered. But nonetheless, Ariana, she gets out the old, a chainsaw or whatever she does, and she chops off the heads of all these men. I think the message, well, tell me if I'm wrong, I think the message is, all these puppeteers that men seem to be pulling the strings of young artists and cashing in on the hopes and dreams of young women trying to achieve their artistic dreams. Oh my God. Anyway, it's truly not only graphic, but it's just not clever. The video clip isn't clever, let me tell you that. I wouldn't want my children watching it. And I'm no prude. I'm absolutely no prude. The song itself isn't a patch on the lead single, Hate That I Made You Love Me, either. And Apologies for the kind of grotesque segue, but it truly is just a coincidence. Perez Hilton. Jesus Christ.
The Hollywood gossip blogger Perez Hilton has been rushed to hospital after fans became increasingly concerned about his behaviour during a live stream. Police were sent to Hilton's home in Miami after reports that he appeared to be self-harming during an appearance on TikTok. Without confirming any names, the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office said a man had been safely recovered and was being given medical attention at a local hospital.
Yeah, I watched only a few seconds. People who watched it live tell me he was nude, possibly cutting at his genitals and all over his body. It looked like a scene from Carrie, the bit that I saw. Some fans are saying he's been in a religious psychosis for a very long time now. Apparently he was behaving strangely before he started cutting, to the extent that his children were actually removed from the home. God bless, it sounds like they didn't see this, although it's immortalised forever on the internet, isn't it? Look, as a pop community, this is a test of our compassion, would you think? There is some vile stuff out there. People cheering this on as if Perez deserves everything that he's getting at the moment, but no person should have to suffer like this. He's said and done some atrocious things in the past. If you're an oldie like me, you'll remember that. Remember the dial-up internet we used to get with his website, and he'd put a picture of a celebrity and scrawl the word fat cow all over it and stuff like that? I mean, he's done some terrible things. He actually came into the Australian jungle. So when he was on the Australian version of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, look up Perez and the Bananas. Perez and the Bananas if you want some awkward watching. But yeah, this incident that's just happened is truly horrific, and it calls out his desperation, quite frankly. I hope you're sending him prayers like I am. He's a very lonely soul. And many of you have been asking me what I thought about my favourite celebrity in the whole entire world, Meghan Markle. She was appearing, or has appeared, on Australian Master Chef, and I'm going to be as fair as I can be here. That's a good question. No one's ever asked me that. Look, she was fine. She was fine. I mean, I can see right through her, so she presented as fine. I don't think she was really fine. But look, because the entire show was all about her, so I mean, she was in her element. I stopped counting the number of times she used the word I or variations thereof, always referring to herself. My God, it's just... Don't play a drinking game counting the I's and the references to herself when you're watching Meghan Markle. But to be fair, there were rumours, and they've gone international, that she was very difficult behind the scenes, and that's been called out as untrue by someone I trust very much and love, as does all of Australia. One of my favourites, Poe.
If I got $1 for every time someone asked me about Meghan, I'd be a billionaire. We had such a lovely time with her. And, yeah, she was model citizen. Like, honestly, no fuss, hung out with us, didn't scurry away into her green room.
Yes.
Was just completely sort of engaged with the whole process and, like, knows her food. Like, nothing to complain about at all.
Well, Poe, this is Natalie and I don't live that life. Once we leave the radio station, we go home, walk around the streets, and no one gives a rat's ass. But in these headlines, it is. You're reading some of the language here. Others claim Poe was left upset and desperate to personally apologise for calling her the Duchess or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And this is a classic one, which I always love. According to various unnamed sources, blah blah blah. Oh my God.
It's ridiculous. It's the first time anything like that's kind of happened to me.
Yes.
So it's been very eye-opening for me to see what she cops
Yes.
every day. It's really full on.
So go back and listen to that again. It's probably the only time you're ever going to hear anybody speaking well of Meghan Markle who hasn't been paid or doesn't have something to gain. You are listening to Time to Talk. G'day, Lucas. How are you?
I'm well, and you, Tim?
Lucas, you wrote a comment underneath one of the posts on I think it was on our YouTube channel, where you said something which absolutely floored someone who read it. And then when I heard the comment, it floored me as well, which is you think Madam X outstrips Confessions 2 in terms of quality. You can't be serious, Lucas.
Let me explain.
Yeah, I think you should.
Well, my comment was basically, I feel that everybody is a little too happy with the album, and that's fine. My worry was that I don't. I'm not sure if this in the long run is going to be a classic to the level of a Confessions of a Dance Floor,
Oh,
or
come
because
on,
some people are
Lucas.
saying that it's better than Confessions, and some people are even uh, are saying that it's her best album in 20 years. Well, most people
It
are saying that
is.
it's her best album in 20 years, and I
Absolutely, it is.
agree.
No, no, Lucas, you've got to hear. Like, I have to speak up for the masses. First of all, it sounds like
Mhm.
you're sort of implying there that over time, the flurry of excitement will soften for Confessions 2, and people will see it for what it really is, which is an album without longevity. This is one of the albums that when Madonna is long gone, all her fans are long gone. This is one of the albums that historians will pull out and say this was one of her best.
Yes, and I'm not disputing that. I was just worried that I think it's a little too soon to call it a classic when people are already ranking it amongst Ray of Light and Like a Prayer and all of those albums. When people make statements like they're discrediting some of the brilliance of Rebel Heart and Madam X, which I know are polarizing albums. Don't get me wrong, but I think some of her best songs of her discography are amongst those two albums. Songs like Ghost Town, Joan of Arc.
Lucas, here's the thing. I take your point that there are particular songs on some of the albums that have preceded Confessions 2 that are superb. I don't think any fan disputes that. We're talking about albums as a body of work. Madam X, I can't even say it had its moments, to be honest. Other people do, like you've just pointed out, God Control. Rebel Heart has some absolute incredible Madonna tracks, some of the very best work she's ever done, which those tracks, if they've been on a different album, could have been, legendary, but they're not because they were on albums that didn't hit the mark. I'm going to put you on the spot, Lucas. Are you saying that Madam X is every bit as good as Confessions 2?
Don't Confessions 2. I may just be one of those albums for me in the long run. I'm still new with the album. And I totally get why people are calling it her best album, because it just dawned on me that this is actually the first album since Confessions on a Dance Floor that Madonna hasn't been chasing trends. You
That's
know,
right.
it's a familiar sound, but it's not. Well, let me backtrack a bit. Confessions on a Dance Floor, the original album, isn't amongst one of my favorite albums.
You're worried that if people make lofty statements that Confessions 2 is the best album in 20 years or so, that all of a sudden we're skipping all the work in between.
Not only that, but I mean, if you look at Pitchfork and a lot of the reviews, it's got an 8.4, if I'm not mistaken, or
Yeah, yeah.
so which is higher than what they gave Confessions, and I believe it's higher than what they gave Ray of Light. So maybe they will revisit those albums, but I feel like they've rated this album too high.
I'm going to put you on the spot about Madam X because you seem like maybe the only Madam X fan I've ever spoken to. So I'm going to let you very briefly justify
Mhm.
why that album shouldn't be burnt and removed and erased from Madonna's history.
Well, I'll start off with Mirez. Mirez. He's actually one of my favorite Madonna collaborators. Starting with the American Life album, I became a fan of Madonna during the American Life era.
Okay.
And when I remember even then, back then, it was a very divisive album. And through the years, people have gone to appreciate American Life. So I get his sound is very uh, polarizing, compared to a Stuart Price sound. Madam X is a lot like American Life in that sense, and it's very polarizing. The auto tune as well is an issue. I get that, and she sang with grills, and it's a mesh of different sounds, so it's not cohesive like as a Confessions too. You've got hip hop influences on songs like Crave and Future, and then you also have Latin X influences, Faz Costoso, Bitch I'm Loca. So it's totally different. It's bold. It's bold. It's her most daring album, and I applaud her for
It's
for her
pretentious,
efforts.
Lucas. Like it's pretentious. When you look at what's the one that she released with the big video? Help me out. I don't even know the names of the bloody songs on that. What was the one with the
Dark Ballet,
Dark
God
Ballet? Yes,
Control.
it
Yeah.
was 100% something that she was producing while she was high on weed and under the influence. She thought she was making something genius. Oh, I know. If we reference that bit of classical music and we put the nutcracker in there and we do some wind effects, oh, people are going to think this is a genius. But it's not. When you actually listen to it in a sober light, you realize that you've created the biggest monstrosity anybody's ever heard.
I wouldn't go that far that it's a monstrosity. I do agree with you there. It is messy.
Do you listen to it? Be honest. Do you actually put that record on? No one does. No one does.
I honestly do. I do.
When was the last time you listened to Madam X?
Yesterday,
The whole thing?
the whole thing. Songs like
Something wrong with you,
Funana,
Lucas.
Ciao Bella, Back Up to the Beat. I love it.
Oh,
Looking
dear.
for Mercy.
So, Lucas, I'm going to leave you with a final say. You're talking to all the Madonna fans listening, the whole community, and I'm sure most of them won't be throwing eggs at you for, saying Madam X is been overlooked because of Confessions 2. That's what's happening. I've finally understood what you're trying to say here. It's that Confessions 2, please don't be too brilliant because you're going to outshine Madam X, and people need to love it. And I can see you're hoping for
Madam
the day,
X
Lucas.
and Rebel Heart. I put
Fair
those
enough.
two together.
Yeah. And I know you're hoping for the day in 15 years from now where music historians come back and go, oh, Madam X, this was an undiscovered gem. It's never going to happen.
But also, I just wish that that maybe the hate train. I mean, that albums like Rebel Heart and Madam X wouldn't be totally disregarded when they say this is her best album in 20 years.
Fair enough. Very briefly, Lucas, you're in South Africa. So what is it like being a Madonna fan in South Africa?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I've barely bumped into any Madonna fans. Hey, the two good Madonna friends that I have, I've met online. One is from Zimbabwe, who has relocated to South Africa in 2008, and we've been best of friends. And another one is from Uganda. We went to the Madam X concert, the opening night in New York together.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
those are my two best friends. Otherwise, there's no other people I can talk to that listen to Madonna. Other people are just casual. They know a song or two. I mean, she's been around for 40 years. So you've got people that know Holiday, people that know Like a Prayer, or people that know Take a Bow, and you'll see. But yeah, nobody is like is a consistent hardcore fan. I haven't met any.
But nonetheless, Lucas, thank you for being a huge Madonna fan in South Africa, where we need you. We need the Madonna fans plugged into the ground and doing the right thing in those territories where she's not as celebrated as she should be. Lucas, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Why are you gay?
G'day, Paul.
Hello, UK.
How are you, sir? It must be early in the morning over there in my motherland.
Yes, but at 8:30 in the morning, so I'm all good. After your message last night, I was excited, but I'm up anyway for the gym and stuff, so not bad.
Well, I am extremely appreciative of the fact that you're making the effort. There is so much to talk about in the world of Kylie now. We're going to talk about the Aussie Prime Minister apologising for his Minogue comments. There's something you don't hear every day. We're going to touch on the stalker who has been charged. And on a lighter note, I promise, folks, we're going to talk about things like the Madonna-Kylie collaboration, Fever 2, if you haven't heard that little rumour, the upcoming AFL Grand Final, and of course the new single These Alarms. But Paul, before we go anywhere else, I just want to start with this.
Yes.
Well, the Prime Minister appeared on the Bush Deep podcast, which came out was released last Friday. It was filmed at the Lodge, and he was asked by the podcast host, Nikki Osborne, who he would, quote, shag, marry or date. It is somewhat of a crude party game, and it was involving the Australian pop star Kylie Minogue. Now, the Prime Minister initially didn't answer the question, but he was pushed by the host.
Well, we're at rapid fire questions now. Every guest gets asked these. Shag, marry, date. Kylie Minogue, Nicole Kidman or Rhonda Birchmore?
I've just got married. I'm only 6 months in.
But if it goes tits up, let's just pretend.
Oh, Kylie, clearly.
You'd marry Kylie and shag her and date her?
All of the above.
All right, it's a triple.
She's terrific.
All right, that's fair.
Now, today we have heard from the Prime Minister releasing a statement. In one sentence, he says, I apologise unequivocally for the comments.
What's been the reaction to these comments, Pablo?
Roundly criticised. We have heard from the Shadow Communications Minister, Sarah Henderson, who has said that they are disrespectful to women, embarrassing to Australians and demean the office of the Prime Minister. She also called it crude locker room talk. We have also heard from Independent MP Zali Steggall, who says that the Prime Minister should have pushed back on this and lead by example and should have called it out as sexist.
I don't know. Paul, has this made international headlines or is it just a buzz over here?
Do you know what? I've heard a bit of it. I just seen it. It was just like a little snippet on Facebook. I'd heard it. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't look into it. But he was sort of pushed into that statement, really. But at the same time, being the Prime Minister, you should know and deflect away from that conversation as a whole.
Paul, let's be honest. This is a no bullshit program. Are you offended by what he said?
No, it's a compliment, isn't it? In so many ways, but at the end of the day, you've got the haters that are waiting just to jump on anything anyway, aren't you?
I just hate this world so much. I really do. Who cares? Who cares? No one is offended, not in the real world. Nobody's offended. If you are, I'd love for you to come on this show and explain to me how on earth a comment like that, in light of everything going on in the world, that somebody says, yeah, they play a little game and say I'd shag Kylie and marry Kylie, whatever the hell it was. Who cares? I am so ashamed of my country. This sounds like something that would come out of your country, not mine.
Most definitely. It's just at the minute, it is expect the unexpected because you just don't know what's going to come next. It's
but
just
Paul,
absolutely crazy.
I don't know if you're aware of this. We have this hugely proud history in Australia of having very relatable prime ministers. The Simpsons even made fun of it in an Australian episode once, and I was so proud of that. I mean, have you heard of Bob Hawke, one of our former prime ministers? Have you heard of him?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, very proud prime minister in the 80s, and as a student at university in Oxford in 1954, this was before he was the Prime Minister, he drank a yard of beer, which is around 1.4 litres, in 11 seconds. And guess what that got him, Paul? It got him a place in the the World Guinness Book of Records. And he was in there for years. And we didn't, what's gone wrong with the world? Albanese, do you know what? I was going to, saying that about Kylie, you earned my vote. And he's having a tough time at the moment. He earned my vote. When you apologised, Anthony Albanese, you lost my vote. because you're an absolute wowzer. How dare you give in to these mythical people who are allegedly offended? Go and find someone who's offended by that. Paul, I'm sorry I'm getting hot under the collar, but I can't believe that a Prime Minister would apologise for paying a compliment to a celebrity. F off.
Exactly. Well, that's what I mean. The world is just it's too politically correct. It's
Yeah.
just getting silly. It's just getting really, really silly. So you can't say anything really, and it's just, do you know what I mean? Being in the spotlight, you're going to get scrutinised even more.
I got to say though, this is a selfish little fringe benefit of this whole scandal, because this is on the front pages over here in Australia, as you can expect. But the fringe benefit is Kylie is known. Like, obviously we know her, but sometimes you get a bit worried. Oh, the general public's still onto Kylie. Are they still aware of Kylie? Do young people still know Kylie? But she's making headlines, and in a strange way, I'm pleased about that.
All press is good press.
Exactly. But have a listen to this.
A Melbourne man has been charged with stalking the family of Aussie pop star Kylie Minogue. He's alleged to have sent her family texts and phone calls saying that he was in a relationship with Kylie. It's claimed he also sent packages for Kylie to her brother's home. He's due to face court in November.
So, Paul, this one's all over the fan community sites with people claiming to know who this person is. Yeah. Do you know who he is?
I've read this. I didn't go that far. I just read it and just thought there is some sick people out there, and it's actually the way he was going to the local post office, wasn't he, and telling everyone in the post office, and so he's not the wellest of people, is he? But at the end of the day, leave him to it. No, not leave him to it. So at the end of the day, it's when he's bothering the family and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Well, he's obviously crossed a line, but let's push ourselves. Let's challenge ourselves a bit here. How far have you gone? What's something that's vaguely inappropriate? I'll go first to make you comfortable. When I was a young lad, very young lad, and Kylie just out of Neighbours, the first, I think we weren't even at a Enjoy Yourself. My friend and I tried really hard to work out where Kylie lived. We were getting out phone books. We were doing all kinds of before the internet, right? But we tried to find where Kylie lived. We never did. But if we'd found out, we might have gone to the house. Is that inappropriate? Where's the line?
No, that's exactly. I would have done the same. I've actually Googled where she lived in London, to be quite honest. So I'm a bit further along the line. Do you know what I mean? I have Googled where she lived in London.
And why did you do that? Be honest. Why did you Google it?
It was just I was just, if he had time, I was just going to, by the way, walk past. I wasn't going to stand there for that. I just walk past or stay there. Maybe stay there for an hour or two, just in case.
So here you and I, we're both tutting the stalker who sent something in the post to the Minogue's brother, Brendan Minogue, I think it is.
Yeah.
But you and I, I've used the white pages to find her address, and you were just going to wander past, in inverted commas, her house in London.
Yes, but just on the off chance, strange things happen, don't they? You never know.
It's a terrible thing, but I really do think whenever I go to a concert of anyone, not just Kylie, these people are brave to get up on the stage in front of all those people. It only takes one. There's a strange man in Sydney. His name will come to me. He's on TikTok. He's awful little man. He's the one that's accosted Ariana Grande. He's run up and not attacked, but he got on stage with The Weeknd.
Yeah, he's renowned for it. And didn't he get thrown out of the Lady Gaga concert because he got onto who he was?
Yes, and he's, if you don't mind me, I've watched, because I was very curious. He's in Sydney, right? Not far from me, and I can recognise all the backgrounds because he does little stupid dances in train stations and stuff. But he strikes me as quite an unwell person too. So do you know what I mean? Like tens of thousands of people in one venue, and it only takes one nutter. I think they're incredibly brave, and we underestimate celebrities, walking around in public and getting on stage.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm saying that. Just imagine what we'd be like if we seen Kylie. I know I've seen Kylie. I've been on stage with Kylie, but it's a thing though, isn't it? But for him to be doing it, what? Sorry,
you went to Jelly, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to pieces, absolute pieces. Do you know what I mean?
It was very cute.
Yeah. But he's going out to that's his mission, isn't it? To get on that stage or get close to them, and he's doing it. Do you know what I mean? But he's doing it with no. It's obviously he's scaring people by the way he's doing it. He's not like doing it in a nice manner. If you, should I say, yeah, not in a nice manner. He's just like sort of invading their privacy.
Do you know, this is going to be controversial, but I don't care. I'm going to say it. There's a podcast that only existed, in my humble opinion, with the sole aim of having Kylie come on the show. It never happened, so the show's folded up. I won't mention what it's called. One of the hosts never stopped. They were incessantly talking about Carol Minogue. Every episode, at least 2 or 3 references to, oh, I love Carol Minogue. It was sort of unhealthy. It was really unpleasant and uncomfortable for me to listen to.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. Sometimes it's an unhealthy obsession. Obviously, with the lad that runs up on stage and stuff like that. It's that's his obsession. That's
yes.
But it is quite unhealthy. Same with the stalker. It is quite unhealthy and a bit unhinged is the word. If you're sending gifts to the brother and telling everyone in the post office that you're with them, it's at the end of the day that poor man could be not well.
Absolutely. She's got a song called Obsession, of course. But here's the thing, Paul, I'll just leave it with this. I think one of the criteria for me about when you're crossing a line, like waiting for a celebrity you love to come out of their house, that's questionable. But if you start communicating or trying to communicate with their family, that is so incredibly an indicator that something's not right with your health.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. And obviously hanging around the local post office where obviously they use that post office and the chance of maybe seeing them. That's what I think his aim is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
So
very scary. We do worry for our celebrities, and sometimes I wonder, do we get too complacent with their security? Should we talk about something lighter for a moment,
Yes.
Paul? You're listening to Time to Talk.
Go on, let's go.
Have a listen to this first.
Long-term fan, who isn't, of Kylie? My goodness, of course. So it's, I have co-written with artists for years, and sometimes in the co-writing world, you sort of hear whispers of artists looking for songs, and you write songs on spec and you send them to them, and maybe they use them, maybe they don't. I heard that Kylie was looking for a song. I wrote her a bunch, but then I couldn't get them to her. So we decided to do one of them ourselves. And the songs I wrote were all just called Kylie 1, Kylie 2, Kylie 3, etc. So this song was always called Kylie throughout the recording of the song. It was always meant for her, but we just decided we'd do it ourselves. And then when we got to the end of the song, there was something missing. And that was obviously Kylie. So we tried even harder to get the song to her, and we eventually did. And turns out she loved it. Then she sung on it, and the song felt finished for the first time because it was her vocal is absolutely extraordinary. So I guess it was always destined to be a song, maybe not for Kylie, but with Kylie, which is amazing.
And even the process of getting that together, of getting her voice onto this track, I mean, is this a process where she records it somewhere else and put it together? Because actually your voices, they work really, really well together.
They do. They do work really well together, but I had a feeling they would, and it turns out once every lifetime I'm right about something. She recorded it with her producer and then sent us the vocal, and our producer Fraser T. Smith put the track together, and it all worked just kind of flawlessly, really.
That's Gary Lightbody, of the Snow Patrol band. What are you making of this song? It's called These Alarms, Paul.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm really, really liking it. And as he's just said, you can't unhear it without with you can't unhear Kylie. Do you know what I mean? That song was meant for her. It really was. It, just imagine just the boys singing that. It wouldn't be as beautiful.
Yeah. Do you
Her
reckon?
vocals are just insane. As he's just said, insane. She's got the tones, and they really work together.
Yeah, it's a bit of a throwback. It's reminding me of Some Kind of Bliss in a strange way.
Yes.
It could have lived on Impossible Princess at least, I reckon.
Well, that was the first time I heard it. I just thought, wow, is this a hint of what she's going to do next?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
is it? And is she going to go back down that road? Which Impossible Princess was a great era. It wasn't my favourite era, but it was a great era for it. And then I was thinking, Chris Martin, she's just done with, but Chris Martin's song was a lot lighter, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? A lot
Yeah.
more poppy than that. And I
Yeah.
thought, I wonder, is she going down that road?
I think it's just a little throwback, a little nod back to those days. But how many times do we hear this story in Kylie's career of artists saying it was really hard to get the music through to her? Like Nick Cave, I'm sure he tells the story of sending her demos and them being like the manager, I think it was Terry Blamey, just not getting through. So he ended up going directly to her mum, I think it was. This is a
That's
common
what I mean.
story.
That's yeah. It's I thought it for people that are that big as well as like Snow Patrol. You'd think that it'd be
Yes.
quite an easy hit.
You know what he should have done? He should have given it to the stalker because he knows where Kylie lives.
Yeah, or just wait about in that post office with him.
Oh, we
Yeah.
shouldn't joke about stalking.
Oh, no, it's we're
I do
making light
find
of it.
Yeah, I find it amazing though. So many, like you say, in my head, I'm so removed from the world of celebrity, but I love it. But I always think, oh, if you're a celebrity, you'd be able to get anyone's number, anyone's address, and
Of course, it's like
get a
their
demo
people know
too.
their people. They're all links, aren't
Yeah.
they? It's like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like
in my head,
yeah.
they are. Yeah.
It's like a big web. Well, it's a big web, and everyone like you can get it wherever you want, but obviously
Absolutely.
not.
If I want to find out where Betty Boo is these days, I can just snap my fingers right there. That's it. But do you like the track though? Do you think it's a good track?
Yeah, it's quite warm, isn't it? It's a nice warm track. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like sort of, it's just our girl, isn't it? It's Kylie, isn't it? So it's just it's a lovely track. And I get what they say about it was because obviously I read the interview yesterday where it was just called Kylie, and he was so right in it needed her vocals.
Just nice to hear a little snippet from Kylie in I certainly can't say it's quiet in her world, but musically, as we know, she's preparing for the AFL. We'll talk about that. But possibly, Paul, eclipsing a new Kylie song, These Alarms, possibly eclipsing that is Rumour and Gossip. Have a listen to this.
Kylie Minogue. Hello, darling.
Fancy that. You tricked me.
Did you know Kylie was going to be here?
No, shut up. I knew what you both wanted.
Well, I pre-ordered. Okay, I've got to ask. There have all been rumours that Kylie is on Confessions 2. Is this you confirming that rumour? So you are on Confessions 2?
Why do you have to know everything?
Because
You're very nosy.
it's my job. I have to
Okay, well,
ask
it's my job to be mysterious.
I love that last bit. It's my job to be mysterious.
Yes, I know, but you know what? I have got so many conclusions to that conversation. It's they are definitely doing something. But
Yes.
then I read into it. I thought because Madonna said twice in that like sort of that clip the word everything. So I thought, wow, is she gonna collab with the song Everything that's on the album? Because she was emphasizing the word everything. She was emphasizing it, and I was thinking, is she gonna collab with Everything?
I never
'Cause
thought of that part.
He
Yeah.
said it twice. She said it twice as if like she's obviously she's being told to say that word, if you know what I mean, and she actually said it twice.
Very interesting.
Why do you need to know everything, Graham? Do you know what I mean? So that is one of my conclusions. The other one is obviously, do they both know that they're doing Glastonbury next year? Do they both know and they're going to be there in support of each other? Madonna on the, like, either both have headline slots or Madonna even doing the legend slot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she all but confirmed that one, I've got to say. She talked about a big event in
big
the
event
UK.
in the UK.
Yeah, yeah. So I think she's definitely going to take that legend. But look, here's the thing. If you don't mind me just digressing for a moment, if you know the clip we're talking about with Graham, right? So the three of them there,
Yes.
like the holy triangle, I think one of them
Yes.
called it. If you freeze frame, when Graham asks the question, "Are you on the album?" If you freeze frame Madonna's face, she's like, "We're not going to share that." If you freeze frame Kylie's face, it's the very respectable, "This is not my news to share." And Graham's face absolutely was the biggest clue for me. It said, "I've heard the whole," he doesn't say this, but his
Yes.
expression says, "I've heard the whole album and you weren't on it." So he
Yeah,
genuinely doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't know. With that leads to my next conclusion. I think, obviously, because they're with Mr. Price, aren't they, at the minute? I think they're doing something standalone. And I've said this to you before. They're both business women, and why they both need to just embrace it together. So I think they might be doing something outside Confessions.
Yeah, look, I think all the clues were there, Paul. First of all, the familiarity between Kylie and Madonna was quite intense. Like, they've obviously spent a lot of time together. So
I said that after I Will Survive. I said that has not just been an impromptu moment. They've spoke, because if you think about it, Madonna brought Kylie up about the cancer, and you know what she said. And at the end of the day, I think Madonna knew that Kylie was going through cancer again when she brought it up.
Fascinating.
Do you know what I mean?
That has crossed my mind. I don't know, true or not, but she says to Kylie on stage, "You're a survivor too." But look, to be honest, I would think it's unlikely, only because in that documentary it was clear that Kylie had barely shared that even with people in the room that she trusted. So anyway, but look, there's definitely a Kylie Madonna collaboration. Can I get your opinion about something? I'm going to play you a clip from the MLVC Madonna podcast. This is a bunch of Madonna fans talking about the potential of Kylie Madonna. I'm not putting you on the spot, Paul. I'm really curious to see how you respond to this conversation.
So we've had an ongoing discussion in the chat about if people actually want a Kylie collaboration after the scene on Graham Norton, because some people feel like her energy, Kylie, might be too light. And that while Madonna can do light, Confessions 2 is clearly both political and a little dark, and like where is that gonna blend? So, but
well, but I mean, Kylie, so yeah, maybe Madonna will bring out the deep in Kylie. Who knows? Like, I actually would love to see that if Kylie sort of like went into Madonna's world a little bit, as opposed to like Kylie bringing Madonna in. It's like, come on, Madonna, let's do spinning around.
Okay, good point, because everybody forgets about the Nick Cave collaboration.
Exactly.
That was so featured, and that is so good. And Impossible Princess is so good. So Kylie still has that in her, even if she has just been like, Disco Dolly for the last.
Ben is right.
Yeah.
It lives in Kylie, but it hasn't been commercially successful for her, so she veers away from it. You know?
Yes, she gives us Padam instead of more Wild Roses. But
what are your thoughts, Paul?
Well, at the same time, I don't think they go. She doesn't have to go into Madonna's world. They both, at the end of the day, the first 12 tracks on that, the Confessions, are quite Kylie and boppy anyway. So why would you have to go into? I think they both work very well together on any of them first 12 tracks.
Look, when I was listening to that, and I have a lot of respect for the MLVC podcast. I really do. I listen fairly religiously. But I was triggered by that, only because forget the content. I'm not talking about the collab here. There was a palpable feeling behind their words that suggested that they really just see Kylie as light piece of fluff who has no substance, even though they like her. I can hear that, but they truly, after all these years, 40 years we're coming up to, they still were talking as if Kylie lacks substance. And that really pissed me off.
Yeah. No, actually, now that you've pointed, yeah, it's just that like sort of it's like Kylie's just there.
Like when
Do
he
you know what I
said,
mean?
"Oh, Madonna, come and sing Spinning Around," with such sarcasm in his voice. I mean, really,
That's so,
it was like, honest to God, like, I just don't think American people get. I just don't think they get it. Here's the thing: Madonna's often hailed for she's political, she's socially minded, and she's a social warrior. Well, Kylie might not promote herself as such, and her fans might not promote herself as such, but I would argue that Kylie has put as much light and joy and healing into the world as Madonna has.
of course, yeah, of course. If not equal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like sort of but then what Madonna's done the controversial route, Kylie hasn't. That's what it's all about. Kylie's gone the nice way about it. Obviously, she had the dip when she was with Michael Hutchinson and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Where she went at like Wild Child, but other than that, she's just done it her own way. She hasn't had to be controversial.
100%. And I just get this from Madonna fans, and I don't diminish it. They say, Madonna makes me think. And I go, well, that's great. And she makes me think too. But Kylie makes me think too. Do you know, every day I work in a really hard industry, and every day, at least once, what would Kylie do passes through my mind, because she makes me think, like, because she responds with class, with dignity, with thoughtfulness, with emotional intelligence. So when they say Madonna makes me think, sort of in brackets, and Kylie doesn't, it's like, you really just don't get Kylie, because she makes me think about kindness.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what Kylie's all about.
Whenever I listen to Tim and his panel of guests, my toes begin to curl, and I feel just the right amount of tingling all over my aching body. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hey, Paul, here's an interesting little tidbit, and it's not a rumor, because she's said this apparently in Rolling Stone UK, I think it was. I hope I'm getting that right. She was asked about the concept of a Fever 2 album, and her quote was, "That would make a lot of sense." What did you think?
Yes, I've read that that quote, and what do I think? I would absolutely love it, because Fever was one of the best albums, wasn't it? If you going back, it was one of the best. Plus, and she's made it clear, Love at First Sight's her favourite song.
Yeah, it sort of challenged me to think, well, what was Fever? Very electronic, very dance, very clean, very synth, but very electronica, really. So if that's what she means, I always think it's a bit dangerous for someone to go, yeah, I'd love to do Fever 2, only because, well, does that mean you're going to fall short if you don't have a mega bomb, like Can't Get You a mega hit, sorry, like Can't Get You Out of My Head? Wow.
Yeah, it's a huge gamble, because it was
Yeah.
such a big thing. But it's also, are we coming up to the 25th anniversary of Fever?
What was it? 2002, wasn't it?
So I think we're coming up to the 25th anniversary. So maybe that's part of her thing, because I've seen it. She's stated it a few times about Fever 2. Do you know what I mean? And celebrating, and she said she had more surprises for us and stuff like that. So if you think about it, whatever she does next has got to fit into the 40th year celebration. Do you know what I mean? So if she does a Fever 2, it just gels in.
What would I call a follow-up to Fever? So tell me, how about meningitis?
COVID. COVID.
They start with a fever, don't they? Typhoid? I mean, what do you call the follow-up to fever? It's rather unfortunate, really. There's not many good options after a fever, unless you want to go for recovered. I don't know.
Yeah. Fever. But if you think, look what Madonna's just done with Confessions too. Is she going to sort of follow suit?
Let's remember that it's actually Kylie who did the sequel first with Tension, right?
Yes, with Tension 1 and 2, yes. But I mean, leaving, she was first. But yeah, if you think about it, we're still waiting for this Joel Corry song that's meant to be. For me, it feels, he says it's an absolute banger, but I could envision it to be Fever 2-ish.
You
The
are a
way they're
patient
talking
man.
about it being this big house banger, do you know what I mean? So the summer song. Well, that
How
was
long
2
have we
years.
been waiting for that for, though?
That's 2 years, isn't it? Well, I think this is the third summer.
Yeah, I
But
really, yeah, that man annoyed me, but with the way he was boasting about that track. But yeah, I do want to hear it, of course.
yeah, that's what I mean. So is that the road she's gone down? Because I think while she's been in America, she's been in and out of the studios. She's been writing stuff along the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's got something coming soon. She's definitely got something coming soon.
Let's talk about that. So we know that as we speak, it's she'd be in full swing preparing for the AFL Australian Grand Final. That's in September. And all the talk, well, the rumours that I started, you could say, was about the fact that I believe that would be the perfect launching pad to announce a 40th tour, to announce a new album potentially. So do you reckon he's still on the radar, do you think? New music, new tour in 2027?
Yes, I do. That's what I mean. I think she's flying high. She's riding the wave. So why not? And
Yeah.
it's just like sort of, and it's obviously sort of, they usually do a new album before a tour anyway, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So it just coincides, doesn't it? So I've said since last year, since she finished Tension, she's got an album ready for us.
Yeah, yeah. Look, everything is syncing up. Like it's starting to fall into place. If you're looking at what Madonna's doing now, and then September, if that turns out to be more than just the AFL Grand Final and it's the start of something new for Kylie, that's a couple of months away. So everything's starting to sync up because this collaboration, which is absolutely there, sitting in the can, is, as you just so beautifully said, it's going to benefit both of them, and the timing of it will be key. They're going to drop it maybe on a follow-up Confessions. Who knows? It might even be the lead single of Kylie's new album, for all we know.
Yeah,
knows?
and no, but that's what I mean. It's that big of collab. I don't think one of them's going to take the onus. I think they're going to give us something standalone. So it's not on either of their albums. I think we're going to get like a couple of songs out of them. Because why just do one song when it's going to be fucking? Sorry for swearing. It's going to be absolutely huge. So one song would be sort of a bit of a waste.
Regardless of what happens next, we are spoilt boys, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just obviously that the Graham Norton show. It was like watching that, I was amazed, and I thought it was an audience with. So I thought Kylie's going to get brought out of the audience to sing a song with Madonna. I thought that's what we were getting, and then for Kylie to just be there, it was just, that was like, wow, what's going on? And
Just a
both
huge
of them
tease. That's what it was all designed to be, just a tease.
Well, that's all Madonna's done for the last couple of months, tease us. Which I thought, which Madonna knows best, doesn't she? I'm thinking, why is Madonna doing it this way? Why is Madonna doing it this way? Where, for me, Danceteria should have been, that should have been the lead single.
The problem with all that teasing was I prematurely confessed. I actually did. I downloaded some leaks. I was listening to the leaks a couple of, maybe 3 days before the album arrived. I know everyone said don't do it and you're a bad fan. They annoy me, those people. And Madonna herself says, what'd she say? Maturity is the ability to wait until you're satiated or something like that, to be patient, essentially. Well, Timmy's not patient.
Yeah, no, well, you know what? It's not that I don't believe in it. If you get the chance to, I probably would, but it didn't. I sort of steered clear.
Paul, one final piece of advice for Kylie if she's listening.
Yeah. For me,
yeah.
Just Kylie, if you are listening, just keep on doing what you're doing. You amaze me all the time, and you looked absolutely stunning on the Graham Norton show. And I love you.
Yeah, she sure did. And Kylie, my advice is just, you can tease us, but not too much. We'll make a mess. It will just be awful. Paul, it's been a pleasure as always. I love talking to you, my friend.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I'll hope to speak to you soon.
Why are you gay?